Tonight we hear, as though from a great distance, accounts of hope and joy, unlooked for, unimagined, beyond hope. On the one hand, we hear this account of Joseph, the beloved son of his father Jacob, envied by his brothers, sold into slavery, pretended by his brothers that he was dead, and assumed to be lost to the family. We know the story, of course. He rises through his virtue and his wisdom to great prominence and power in the land of Egypt. He interprets the visions of the king, and through his good counsel and careful oversight, the land of Egypt stores up food for the 7 years of famine, so that when his family in Palestine are in want, when they are starving, they come to Egypt to find food. And there in Egypt, they find the man in charge is this proud and inaccessible man who they have trouble with. They get in trouble. They find themselves in peril. They're worried he's going to kill them. And finally, he invites them to dinner. And at dinner, he behaves so strangely. First, he talks. He makes good conversation. He asks after their family. Then he runs off and cries in the next room, and everybody can hear him crying. Then he comes back and he sends everyone away. This is not the normal behavior of a dinner host. If someone asks you to dinner and they do this, you decide they're crazy. You start sneaking towards the door and you call the police. You might want to check on that guy. He needs a straitjacket. But you don't call the police on the man who's ruling Egypt. There is no police to call. And then he sends everyone away, and he reveals himself as their brother, Joseph, the one they had wronged, the one they had hated, and they're afraid. They're shocked, and they're afraid. And he says, don't be afraid. I know what you did, but be assured, you intended it for evil, but God has turned it to good. By your actions selling me into slavery, Egypt now has food. And because Egypt has food, all of you and our father and your wives and children and all of our people will live, because there are still 5 years left of famine. An unlooked for hope, a joy that could not have been expected, we see in this story of Joseph. And yet, because today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Lazarus is buried on Wednesday. He goes into the tomb. His sisters are weeping. His family and friends are wailing and wondering, this man was a friend of the teacher from Nazareth, the one who heals the sick. Why didn't he come? The echo is harder for us to see here, because what we remember today is Lazarus dead. Jesus didn't come in time. They buried him. His sisters went home alone. But we know what's coming on Saturday. And therefore, even this untold grief echoes with hope. And these two stories together, the sign and symbol of Joseph in Egypt, and the sign and symbol of Lazarus in the tomb, 4 days dead, his raising that will come in 4 days, as we show it in the icon now. Both of these are images for us, reflections for us, reminders for us of the great resurrection, of the power of the Lord over death, over sorrow, over grief, over darkness. By the Lord's presence in our midst, by his entrance into Jerusalem, by his passion, by his death, and therefore by his resurrection, we are saved. We are granted life. We are granted hope. And we receive joy in the face of all griefs, all darkness, all loss. Both stories today, the one from deep antiquity, the one that is happening even now, 2,000 years ago, they are for us dim reflections of the brilliant light of the Lord shining forth from the tomb. We taste Pascha tonight. And then we continue fasting. We have to go through the shadow of death, but we know the light that waits us at the end. Thanks to Joseph and Lazarus, who we hear about tonight. May we be granted strength and endurance to complete the course of the fast and to rejoice together at the empty tomb in 1 week and a few days. God bless you all. Amen. We will bless the food from here, so if you would please stand, then we'll dismiss and you all can begin. Kyrie Iisu Christe o Theos Simon, ευλόγησον την πρόσιν και την πόσιν των δούλων σου, Lord Jesus Christ our God, bless the food and drink of these your servants. Bless the hands that have prepared them and the households of those who have come. For you, O Lord, are holy, now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Καλή όρεξη. I'll be with you immediately.